Okay, then we will move to item B, the Tomah Area Credit Union proposal for youth savings program.
Well, it was alluded to earlier from Mary Ellen that part of the strategic plan this year is to reach out to the community and develop those partnerships. And a few months ago I was here telling you what LaGrange School had put on our list for partnerships. And one of those that the teachers came up with was forming a partnership with the Tomah Area Credit Union to help young people learn a savings program. So tonight John Laufenberg, the president of TACU Credit Union, is here to make that proposal.
Good evening.
Hi.
I believe you have a copy of the proposal. A few things that I want to talk about first before I get to the proposal and explain it to you. And you should know that Paul Wiese is also the chairman of the Tomah Area Credit Union Board of Directors, and so naturally the teachers that were interested in starting a program contacted him to see if the credit union had any interest. The question he first posed was, do we have a savings program for the elementary level students? Was there anything like that available that we could just put in? And I of course told him no, we don't, but we would do some research. So I charged my staff or created a committee with my staff to study it, to see if anything could be done. And we looked nationally with what's called Credit Union National Association, as well as we took a look at some savings programs that were offered in school systems by banks. And we found that the types of programs were varied, but the most important thing we found that it was kept very simple. As you may know, in Wisconsin, teaching financial literacy is not required part of your curriculum, and it's not historically been part of teachers' training on how to teach financial literacy. And Paul's question to us was, what could Tomah Area Credit Union do to help? About a month ago, Paul reviewed this proposal that you have with some of the teachers that had asked the question, could we do something? And they made a few suggestions, and we in turn revised it to address some of those concerns. And then last week we attended the LaGrange PTO meeting and presented the proposal to the parents there to see what they thought of the idea. And we now feel that we're ready to present it to the school board to see if you're interested in it. Part of my research involves studying Wisconsin Department of Public Instruction's report titled Wisconsin Schools Model Academic Standards for Personal Financial Literacy. Though I'm not an academic, I do have an education degree, and I found it really interesting to kind of get back into this subject and get involved in it. That study was completed in January 2006, and I discovered this statement that was quite interesting, and that is that today's students need a strong foundation in personal finance. An estimated 80% of Wisconsin students work during their high school careers. Nearly one-third have personal checking accounts and credit cards in their own names. Among young adults, the last decade has brought a major increase in the use of non-traditional credit products that have annualized rates of charges to them of 300 to 1,000%. Additionally, personal bankruptcies have increased 105% in the last 15 years. And the main thrust of this is that these facts contribute to the need for a more focused approach on personal finance for our students, both while they are in school and in the future. They develop standards to lay the foundation for competent and financially literate citizens. And this is coming from our very own Wisconsin Department of Education. In the overview and the developing knowledge and skills standards, they state that the skills should begin in the pre-kindergarten through grade 12. The financial literacy standard lists 4 performance standards that students of K to through grade 4 should have, and we can't address all of those ourselves. However, we feel that with a small savers program that we can address at least 2 of them. We can teach our children to save on a regular basis, and they can and will readily see the results. We also noted in the proposal under the product overview that students will, you will notice in the proposal that the students will be allowed to save as little as a penny. Nickels, dimes, and quarters. We're really not encouraging that the students save large amounts, because we don't believe with this program that we want to make the teachers or the student tellers that we're proposing using handle large amounts of cash. We're talking about small amounts, but at the same time, small children with small amounts can realize small success and see the results. They know that a penny, 2 pennies equals 2 cents, and that 2 nickels equal a dime, and if they put in a quarter every week, now they have 50 cents, 75 cents, and a dollar. With the proposal, we do agree to pay interest on these accounts, but you should know that based on today's rates, as low as they are, and I did the calculation today, it would take a student to have at least $6 in a savings account before they'd get 1 cent quarterly dividends. So understand that they would have to get at least that much in their account before we could pay it. The computer will compute it, but it won't pay it because it's less than 1/2 cent. Number 2 on the list, to understand the purposes and services of financial institutions in their community. As part of the proposal, we will, on request, have our staff visit classrooms, make presentations on topics such as how a savings account works, different kinds of money, or anything money related that a teacher deems appropriate. And we also invite the other community financial institutions to do the same. Now I'd just like to, and I forgot to bring it up, I'd like to go through the proposal. I have to get my copy. One of the goals, we established 2 goals with this program, and that's to teach the importance of saving early on and consistently, regularly. We also look as this is an opportunity to cultivate a responsibility of the student tellers who run the operation. Student tellers, teachers will select 3rd, 4th, or 5th grade students to serve as tellers for the K to 2nd grade students. We didn't feel that the below 2nd grade students would be able to handle the calculation or the writing of a receipt, and by age 3rd grade we felt that with Paul's advice that a 3rd grader could actually do a simple receipt, writing a date and the amount of the money that the student was giving to them, and that's the only responsibility the student would have, other than being able to count the money that the other student would give to them. It's a hands-on approach. Teachers would select the 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade students to serve as the tellers for the K to 2 students. We'll create a routine schedule for upper level classes to serve as tellers for the K to 2 students. All transactions will occur on the same day throughout the school, so that if that particular elementary school picks a Tuesday, then it would be done on Tuesday every week, so that the students would know when to bring their pennies, nickels, and dimes to school. It's recommended that teller duties are rotated between all of the students. I think I calculated it as 39 weeks in a school year, which with the 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders, I'm not sure what the classroom sizes are, and I was a little worried that they wouldn't have all the opportunity, but the fact that they would also serve as tellers for the K through 2, if you do the numbers on that, you would have to have a classroom size of 45 to 50 to eliminate one of the students from acting as teller, so they'd all get to do it at least once per year. They have a simple responsibility of taking and counting the deposits. They would notate the student's name, date, and the amount. And we can also provide a simple log for them to record it on a sheet or give the depositing student a receipt. Law says that when you make a savings deposit, you must give a receipt. So we would create a simple fill-in-the-blank receipt for the student to give to the other student. Teachers, we would first teach the teachers, and the teachers would select the students. We teach them how to help students accurately count deposits. There are just simple little methods for doing that. I hate to say it, but banking is not that complicated. It's simple arithmetic and counting, which is a skill that these students may or may not have at this age as it deals with money. We'll provide teachers with directions on how to make the deposits, and we'll also, if needed, provide personalized training to individual teachers if they request it. It's designed to teach elementary students money management skills by providing them a convenient way to save their money. And again, we're talking about small amounts. We really don't want or don't foresee a student walking in with a $20 bill. We're really not encouraging that because we don't want the teacher or the students to be responsible for that kind of money. Because of the age of the students, the parents have to become involved in the process. Parents may bring the student to Tomah Area Credit Union's main office to open an account. They may choose to handle the process through the mail. Interested parents may call the office requesting new account materials and return the needed forms and signatures. Some of this information, such as Social Security number, is confidential, and we would not use that in the receipt process. The Board of Directors has already made a decision that if you decide to go with this program, that they would waive the normal $25 to open an account fee. If a student brings in a penny, they'll open the account. This is pretty important if you understand that we have to provide receipts. We also have to provide a quarterly statement. It costs us about $1 to mail a statement. So if we've got a 2-cent deposit, it's a no-win situation for us, other than the fact that we know we're teaching something that we believe very firmly that students need to learn at an early age. There is one fee that they did not waive, and that's a $1 fee for each withdrawal after 3 1/4. We left that in there because we want to encourage these students to leave the money and accumulate. Also, no withdrawals would be allowed from the school system. At the school system, any withdrawal would be limited to a parent and child coming to the credit union office to make that withdrawal. And you can imagine if we allowed that, what might happen. A student might withdraw money for things that the parents really didn't want them to withdraw money for. The fact that it would be a joint account with the parent and the student would preclude them from doing that. They wouldn't be able to withdraw without the parent's permission. I should mention that all standard regulatory policies will need to be in effect for the savings program. That's one of the reasons that the teachers and the students would have to run these small deposit operations. If we brought a Tomah Area Credit Union employee to the school to either supervise or do the receipts, we would have to have a branch office permission from the Department of Financial Institutions for every school, and that's just not possible or feasible. We are federally insured by the National Credit Union Administration. They regulate and insure the deposits up to $250,000. We will provide all needed equipment. We'll bear all expenses associated with the operation of the savings program, and we'll provide resources to ensure an operational success. We're familiar with securely transporting cash to and from locations outside our main office. The vision of how this will be done is that each classroom would have a deposit bag to put the receipts in, any monies that the students deposit into it. The teacher would take that to the main office. Because it would have to be, and that's another reason for it having to be on a designated day, your policy doesn't allow for cash or confidential information to be stored overnight. So on that day that program would run once a week, we would have one of our staff members stop by all of the main offices in the elementary school and transport that back and then enter that data into our computer system, which would solve that problem. All we ask is that you keep them in a secure location or under somebody's supervision during the time that it's there from, say, 3 o'clock till 3:30 until we get there. Hours of operation are up to the individual classroom teachers, but each classroom would be expected to have at least one deposit collection each week during each school's designated collection day. We wouldn't mind if LaGrange School had their collection day on Tuesdays and Warren's had it on Wednesdays, as long as we know the day. The other thing is that we're readily available to make classroom presentations by request of the teacher. We'd explain how a savings account works, different kinds of money, or anything financial or money literacy related for that age group of children. And we do have resources on the national level to provide classroom presentation curriculums for the teachers. I will mention that Tomah Area Credit Union is full service. We're nonprofit. We're owned by our members. So once that student accumulates $5 in their savings account, they would be a member of the Tomah Area Credit Union. We discussed, all right, so the child reaches 18 years of age, what then happens? At that point in time, they would have to bring their balance. So if they only had 25, they'd have to bring it up to $25 to remain a member of the credit union to keep the minimum deposit. But based on the level that we're starting now, things like that could change in the future. But the important thing is that they learn that saving on a regular basis can add up and that they will earn interest after they get past $6. I want to mention a couple things that we're doing already for the students in the area. These things are available irregardless if you're a member of Tomah Area Credit Union. If you navigate to our website, you'll see two icons on there. One is called Money Mission, which is a game that students can play and accumulate points. It teaches them how to lead a well-balanced life as well as manage finances. It's free, it's fun. There's national scholarship monies available on there if they score high enough. The message is very subtle as far as money management. It doesn't come out and bang, join Tomah Area Credit Union. It comes out and says, save your money, spend it wisely. Interesting thing about the Money Mission game is that just saving a lot of money doesn't score high. Just making a lot of money doesn't score high. But having a budget, living within your means, based on the income that you earn from the game, and also enjoying life, such as going to the movie with your friends or going out to dinner with your friends, will score higher than just saving all of your money. It's a pretty well-rounded thing, and I encourage you to go out there and take a look at it. Then we've got three other sites that are age-rated. It's called Googleplex, which, if you know what that number is, it's the largest number known to man. There's a 5-spot club, which is geared to elementary students, has very simple lessons in life, as well as teaches them how to save money. AJ's Club is geared to the middle school, and then there's also C-Note University, which is geared to the high school level students. The sites are updated quite frequently. They're done on a national level. They're relevant to current events, That's free to anyone that wants to use it. I encourage you to take advantage of our help. Consider the fact that the Savers Program can assist you in achieving one of your goals, and that's building a foundation for financial literacy for our children on an early age. And thank you for your time. And if you have any questions, I'm here to ask now, or you can contact me anytime.
Have you talked to any of the other elementary schools besides LaGrange? Or?
No, we've relied on Paul's expertise to say that, yes, it is of interest.
Okay. And you see this working into the normal classroom on a Tuesday or whatever, art and math class with money, whatever?
I think the teacher can decide how to work it in there.
Based on the teacher input at LaGrange, they felt it would work in very well, and it was their idea to have the older students be tellers for younger students.
Good.
We thought initially we'll get it piloted or started at LaGrange, but before the year is out, hopefully move into whatever other elementary schools in the district want to take advantage of it.
So the initial proposal is to pilot it at LaGrange.
At least to get it initiated and started.
Because that was my concern, how much input had the other schools and commitment
Right, they
that
haven't-
teachers and other schools need.
Yeah,
I
they-
think LaGrange is probably pretty committed.
LaGrange is pretty committed, right.
Okay.
Right, and I think if it's successful there, within a few months, the other schools will, but John hasn't had the opportunity to talk to all of them. But it was initiated out of the LaGrange strategic plan, so that's why we started with that.
Good. You did a lot of work. Thank you very much.
It's part of our mission, actually. Financial literacy is very important to us. We see the problems that our citizens run into in later years, mostly because they've never developed good financial habits. There's no better time to teach it than when the mind is very impressionable.
Right.
Well, and it's very practical and relevant. I mean, kids love money too. So just, being able to count real coins, and I mean, it's going to pique their interest as well. So
Yeah.
it's a great idea.
So we leave it up to you.
Okay.
We'll do it if you want us to. If you don't want us to, that's fine.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
I make a motion that we approve this.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a, okay.
Go ahead.
We'll talk, yeah. We have a motion, a second then, that we will approve the proposal by the Tomah Area Credit Union for a youth savings program in our elementary schools.
Do we mean our elementary schools, or do we mean LaGrange?
No, I purposely did not say a school, because by the time school starts next in August or September, by the time school starts, there may be more schools that want to participate.
Here's my concern. I really want LaGrange to be I really want us to do this, and I really want LaGrange to be ready to go, up and ready to go in September. But I also don't want other schools to feel that it's imposed on them if their teachers aren't ready to go with it. So I guess, has there been any discussion with the other schools, Paul?
Not in any depth at this point.
So that's why
I left it wide open, because those that want to, those schools that want to will, and those that don't just simply won't. And this proposal is approving the program, but it's not mandating the program.
That's what I want to make is sure is real clear to the other schools that it's voluntary.
Okay. Any other discussion? And maybe we have a motion and a second then to approve the Tomah Area Credit Union proposal for a youth savings program within the elementary schools as they choose. Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Thank you again. It'll be
Look forward to it.
Cool little
be a good idea for the students. I'm sure they'll enjoy it, along with learning.